He only loved me after I died. Chapter 1. My sister's fiance loved me. He admitted this for the first time at my funeral. The bad news was that I was already dead, murdered by my own family. The good news was that I just woke up back in the past. But something was wrong. How did someone else know I was reborn too? I was dead. I had been lying alone inside a coffin. My soul stood right next to it, watching the very people who murdered me shed fake tears in front of my tombstone. They put on a great show, earning everyone's respect and sympathy. I could only clench my ghostly fists. My overwhelming hatred was completely useless now. Before my soul drifted away, my eyes caught a figure in the corner. Tall and lean. He stood there with a cold, indifferent expression, staring at my grave. His eyes were like a foggy coast, mysterious and freezing. There wasn't a hint of warmth in them. He didn't even bother to squeeze out a single fake tear. This man was Ethan Sue, my sister's fiancé. When I was alive, my sister framed me, and I was gang raped by 3 men. After the explicit photos were leaked online, my reputation was completely ruined. Ethan believed my sister's lies. He thought I was just a loose woman. When I tragically contracted HIV, he pushed my hand away with pure disgust. Back then, he looked at me like I was trash and said, "You deserve it." I guess he only came today to mock my corpse with the rest of them. The funeral ended. I watched everyone leave. My soul sat lonely next to my own tombstone. Thinking back on my pathetic life, I couldn't help but laugh at myself. At that exact moment, Ethan came back. After everyone else had gone, he quietly walked up to my grave and suddenly burst into tears. "Chloe, I'm sorry. I got it all wrong." Ethan slowly dropped to his knees. He reached out the same hand he had used to point and curse at me, gently tracing my name on the stone. He shook like a terrified child. His tears fell one by one onto the cold marble. "If there's a next life, I promise I'll tell you face to face. You're the one I love." Too bad he didn't know a simple truth. Late affection is cheaper than dirt. Maybe God heard my anger. I woke up and found myself back on the exact day Ethan first visited the Jiang family mansion. Chapter 2. This was the day we first met. I remembered he was drunk that night, and he came to flirt with me. "Hey, big sister. You're so much hotter than her. Why didn't your family marry you to me instead?" His face was flushed from the alcohol. He blocked me in the hallway, trapping me against the wall. The heavy smell of alcohol washed over my face, but it made my mind sharper than ever. This was my only chance. Instead of pushing him away, I was going to use him. I wanted Cynthia Jiang to feel what betrayal and despair felt like. I'm just the adopted daughter, so of course I can't be Mrs. Sue. But I smirked, wrapped my arm around his neck, and pulled him straight to me. He was clearly shocked. He stared at me blankly, his eyes darkening with sudden lust. He had probably just wanted to tease me, but he never expected me to be this aggressive. "Since you like me so much, young Master Sue." I looked up at him, making my eyes as seductive as possible. He had mentioned at my funeral that he fell in love with my eyes the very first time he saw me. Ethan's lips curved into a smile. He ran a hand through my hair, leaned down, and kissed my neck. Fun. Exciting. Ethan suddenly scooped me up by my waist, lifting me into his arms, and walked straight into my bedroom. He threw me onto the bed and slowly pressed his body against mine. A playboy has no real heart, but his lust for me was more than enough to be exploited. Gentler. I purposely leaned into Ethan's ear, letting out a soft, breathless gasp. Ethan let out a low chuckle, his breath cooling against my skin like fresh mint. Knock, knock, knock. Suddenly, someone banged on the door. "Chloe, is someone in there with you?" It was Cynthia. I think I heard a man's voice. The doorknob jiggled. I used to be the only princess of the Jiang family. When my parents died in a car crash, I was still too young. My uncle and aunt moved into my house under the excuse of taking care of me. From that day on, Cynthia became the second young mistress of the house. My uncle took over my dad's position and seized complete control of the company. In my past life, I thought they genuinely cared about me, so I never fought them for the inheritance. But when the public backlash almost drove me insane, they were the ones who pushed me off the rooftop. Only after dying at the hands of my own blood did I finally wake up. In this life, I will make them pay. Ethan was going to be my stepping stone. Chloe, open the door, okay? I just want to borrow a dress. Ethan had locked the door from the inside. Cynthia couldn't get in, and her voice sounded anxious now. Under the pale moonlight through the window, I saw the annoyance on Ethan's face. A wicked idea popped into my head. I purposely took my time responding to Cynthia. Ethan lightly pinched my waist and whispered in my ear, "Hurry up, Chloe. We still have business to finish." His voice was deep and husky. I couldn't help but glare at him. He just smiled back silently. "Chloe, are you okay?" Cynthia seemed to notice something strange in my voice and knocked harder. I took a deep breath to stabilize my tone. "I'm fine. I'm going to sleep. I'll give it to you tomorrow." "Oh, okay." Luckily, Cynthia didn't push further and left. During our intimacy, I tried my best to muffle my voice, which clearly displeased him. "It's no fun doing this at your place. Next time, come to my penthouse," he complained gently while dominating me the entire night. Chapter 3. When I woke up, Ethan was still asleep. Enduring the soreness, I grabbed my phone and secretly took an intimate photo of us together. This would be useful later. Sleeping with you wasn't for free, Ethan. And Cynthia, becoming Mrs. Sue won't be that easy for you anymore. Around 8 o'clock, I woke Ethan up. He was still clingy, wrapping an arm around me to pull me back down. "It's early. Sleep a bit longer with me. Get real." I pushed him off annoyed and threw his clothes at him. "Get dressed and get back to the guest room right now." Today was the day Ethan's parents were coming to discuss the marriage contract with my uncle and aunt. The meeting was set for 9 o'clock. Cynthia would definitely go look for him soon. I didn't plan to let this marriage happen, but I wasn't stupid enough to let Cynthia catch us in the same bed directly. That was too risky. "Wow, cold-hearted after getting what you wanted?" Ethan glared at me unhappily, but he still got up and put on his clothes. As he stood in front of the full-length mirror fixing his tie, he suddenly looked serious. "I'll take responsibility for this." I blurted out instantly, "No need." My tone was so cold it surprised even me. It wasn't that I didn't care. It was just that from the moment I made this decision, I had bigger things to worry about. I had already died once. When you're willing to gamble with your own life, what's a little virginity? No need? Ethan's hand paused on his tie. He frowned at my reflection in the mirror, then let out a mocking laugh. "Chloe Jiang, don't regret this." I wouldn't. People like us should care about leverage, not feelings. Are we keeping this up? He finished his tie and turned around to look at me, a lingering desire still in his eyes. It was rare to see him this hooked. Depends on my mood. I purposely kept it vague, stretching my bare arms out from under the blanket to prop up my head. My white shoulders were covered in the marks he left last night. I knew Ethan wouldn't be able to resist looking, but I didn't expect him to ask bluntly, "Are you free tonight? Come to my hotel." It sounded like a question, but his tone was an alpha command that brooked no refusal. Before he finished speaking, a key card was already dropped in front of me. I glanced at it, smirked, and lightly bit the corner of the card. Then I slowly looked up at him, my eyes full of temptation. Without another word, his self-control snapped. His Adam's apple bobbed, his eyes burning with lust. He suddenly lunged forward, kissing me fiercely for a moment before whispering in my ear, "Come early tonight." "Let's say 11. I gave a vague grunt. Chapter 4. Not long after, Ethan left, and I got out of bed. I dressed myself up to look as plain and innocent as possible. By the time I went downstairs, the whole family was already in the living room, including Ethan's parents. "Oh, Chloe, you lazy girl. How can you sleep until this late?" My aunt immediately started painting me as a lazy brat to make Cynthia look better, while pretending she just spoiled me too much. I noticed Ethan's parents looked visibly annoyed. Cynthia was clinging to Ethan's arm, looking completely blushing and shy. As for Ethan, he acted like nothing was happening. staring down at his phone as if the whole thing had nothing to do with him. I mocked him in my heart. I knew a bastard like him couldn't be trusted. Good thing I never expected anything from him. I overslept, I replied coldly, playing along with my aunt's script. It didn't matter. I would settle all these debts slowly. At 9 o'clock that night, I switched to a burner SIM card and anonymously texted that intimate photo to Cynthia. I included the hotel address and room number. The hotel was the one Ethan told me to go to. But the room number I gave her was 3102, the room right next to his. Of course, I wasn't stupid. I had carefully blurred my own face and body out of the photo, leaving only Ethan's face perfectly clear. Who the hell is this? Cynthia replied almost instantly. She was furious. Once I knew she got the message, I immediately pulled the SIM card out and snapped it in half. I checked the time. My uncle and aunt were already asleep. I had timed this perfectly. At this hour, Cynthia wouldn't dare wake her parents up over this. In her panic, she would either come to me or rush straight to the hotel. I lay back comfortably on the balcony couch, pouring myself a glass of red wine. I took a sip and picked up a book. The night breeze blew past, gently touching my 24-year-old face. It felt nice to be young again. Bang, bang, bang. Chloe. Suddenly, loud banging echoed from my door. Cynthia sounded like she was trying to break the door down. I smirked. Right on time. I messed up my hair a bit and walked slowly to open the door. Chloe, something terrible happened. Ethan is. Cynthia was sobbing hysterically. She held up her phone, desperately showing me the screen. I played the worried big sister, comforting her and listening until she finished crying before speaking. Go to the hotel and catch him. He'll go to the Sue mansion to get his parents. Even if he doesn't listen to you, he won't dare disrespect his parents. I patted Cynthia's shoulder, looking terrified. And it's so late. Let's not wake up Uncle and Aunt. If this gets out, ITLL ruin everything. I pulled out a tissue and wiped the tears from her face. If things get ugly, Ethan might cancel the engagement. You know how men are, they love to play around before settling down. My gentle advice totally brainwashed her. This woman was honestly an idiot. If I hadn't been completely off guard in my past life and trusted her like a real sister, her pathetic tricks would have never worked on me. Of course, my aunt was the real mastermind behind her back then. But it didn't matter. After tonight, the playing field would be leveled. I knew my methods were dirty, but when I caught HIV in my past life and stood on that rooftop crying in the rain, I never wanted to commit suicide. Cynthia and her mother were the ones who pushed me off. The next day, the headlines claimed I couldn't handle the cyberbullying and jumped. I died like a dog in the street, while those monsters took everything that belonged to me. So in this life, I only care about destroying them. Chapter 5. Boss, the target is knocked out. On my way to the Sue mansion, I received a text from a thug I hired. That was the surprise I prepared for Cynthia. He was already waiting inside room 3102. This guy was an old acquaintance from my past life. There was a 30% chance he was the one who gave me HIV in the first place. In my past life, Cynthia had hired him to ruin me. But since I came back with future knowledge, I found his leverage first and turned him against her. Do whatever you want with her, I replied blankly. Just make sure to send me the photos first. You got it, boss. What Cynthia did to me, I was returning to her now. Very fair. I put down my phone and leaned back against the seat, sighing softly. I rolled down the car window. The night breeze blew into the car, lifting a few strands of my hair. It felt cold. The moonlight cast a pale glow over my empty body and my rotten, broken heart. Miss Jiang, is something on your mind? The question came from my new driver. He was a young guy. His voice, just like his face, felt warm and gentle like the morning sun. What makes you say that? I asked indifferently. You seem innocent. Everything shows on your face. Innocent? I found that hilarious. I glanced at him through the rearview mirror. His expression was hard to read. Under his messy bangs, his deep eyes looked completely emotionless. but looking at him made me feel oddly uneasy. My expression turned cold and my tone snapped. Just drive. Don't ask questions you shouldn't ask. Yes, Miss Jiang. When the car arrived at the Su mansion, it was almost 11 o'clock. Just in time for the show. Ethan's parents were already asleep, but my hysterical crying forced the maid to wake them up. The old couple looked annoyed, but I immediately started playing the victim. I told them Ethan was sleeping around at a hotel and that the bedroom photos had been sent to my sister's phone. I said Cynthia was furious and had rushed over there. My sister is young and reckless. If she makes a scene, both the Su and Jiang families will be publicly humiliated. I began wiping away tears. If this gets to the press, we all lose face. Mr. Su slammed his hand on the table and roared, "That little bastard. He's getting engaged and he's still fooling around? Let him ruin himself. I'm done with him." Seeing Mr. Su throwing a tantrum while Mrs. Su looked panicked, I knew she was the easier target. I immediately grabbed Mrs. Su's hand. Auntie, Cynthia doesn't know any better, but as the older sister, I have to think about our family's reputations. My parents are gone, and my uncle and aunt spoil her too much. I sobbed helplessly. That's why I came straight to you. We need to stop her before she ruins her own life. Okay, don't panic. Mrs. Su frowned deeply, patting my hand and sighing repeatedly. Mothers are always softer. I'll call my son first and tell him to get back here. Mrs. Su tried to handle it quietly. Mr. Su glared at her but didn't stop her, which meant he agreed. I wasn't worried at all. Ethan had invited me to that hotel. Before I showed up, he wouldn't leave. He still desired me like a dog in heat. I knew that firsthand from our time in bed. He hung up on me? Mrs. Su looked at her phone in shock. God knows how hard it was for me to hold back my laughter while forcing tears out. Finally, with my perfect acting and Mrs. Su's panic, Mr. Su snapped. Tell the driver to get the car ready. We're going to the hotel. I smiled inwardly and followed right behind them. Right before we reached the hotel, I sent out an anonymous tip with the exact room details to multiple paparazzi. When you strike a snake, you hit the spine. I don't play small. If I move, I make sure Cynthia never recovers. Chapter 6. Which room? Mr. Su asked grimly. He was too embarrassed to ask the front desk about this kind of scandal. I looked down, pretending to struggle to remember. I think it was 3102. Mr. Su and Mrs. Su rushed straight to the elevator. The real show was starting. You little bastard, how dare you wait? What the hell? What is this? Who are these men? When the door to 3102 was kicked open, Cynthia had just woken up. She was completely naked, her hair a total mess, looking utterly violated on the bed. There was a large stain of blood on the white sheets. The three thugs had already put their clothes back on, wearing caps and masks. Before anyone could react, they pushed past the parents and sprinted down the hallway. You guys. Mr. Su almost passed out from shock, but Mrs. Su caught him. I quickly helped support him too, while staring at Cynthia with fake horror. Cynthia. You said you came to find Ethan. Why are you with no? It's not like this. Uncle, Auntie, let me explain, Cynthia desperately pulled the blanket to cover herself, shaking her hands in panic. I don't know what happened. She sobbed, shaking her head violently like a lunatic. Unbelievable. So this is the kind of daughter the Jiang family raises. Mr. Su pointed a shaking finger at her, his veins popping out on his forehead as if he wanted to swallow her alive. You do this kind of disgusting thing and have the nerve to frame my son for cheating. Mr. Su was so angry he grabbed a nearby vase and smashed it onto the floor. The loud crash drew out guests from neighboring rooms. The paparazzi I tipped off arrived at that exact moment, swarming the hallway. Mr. Su. Miss Jiang. The flashbulbs and microphones thrust forward looked so familiar and blinding. The questions the reporters shouted were just as cold as the ones I faced in my past life. For a split second, those dark memories flooded my brain, making my chest tighten. I could barely breathe. But the person crying and breaking down under the cameras today wasn't me. Watching Cynthia screaming in agony, trying desperately to hide her face under the blanket, I felt an intense wave of pure satisfaction. Still, I put on an angry, protective act. Get the hell out. All of you. Once I was sure the reporters got enough photos and footage, I acted like a hysterical protective sister, violently pushing everyone out of the room, including Ethan's parents. Slam. The door shut, blocking out the chaos. But inside the room, the suffocating smell of lust still lingered. The pillows and sheets were covered in evidence of how brutally Cynthia had been used. Why? Cynthia lay on the bed like a dead fish, tears streaming down her face silently. Her thin arm hung limply off the side of the bed, shaking like a dying candle. She truly looked pathetic now. My hatred suddenly vanished, because I had just personally destroyed her life. Just then, my phone buzzed with a text. Something came up. Don't come to the hotel tonight. It was from Ethan. I guess he already heard what happened next door. I ignored him and kept pretending to comfort Cynthia. She screamed that she wanted her parents, so I called my uncle and aunt for her. I knew my uncle would find a way to suppress the media coverage. These photos wouldn't leak to the public immediately, but I didn't care about the public yet. I wanted the elite circle to know first. Once the rumors quieted down, I would strike again and catch him off guard. Before long, my uncle and aunt rushed in. My aunt lost her mind, wrapping her arms around Cynthia and crying. My uncle sat silently on the couch, smoking a cigarette with a freezing expression, deep in thought. Chloe, go home first. My uncle put out his cigarette and waved his hand to dismiss me. Through the thick smoke, I couldn't see his face, but his voice left no room for argument. My goal was achieved anyway, so I had no reason to stay. I left the hotel and found my driver waiting at the entrance. I got in and said coldly, "Take me home." The driver didn't move. He stared at me through the rearview mirror and suddenly let out a deep sigh. "Miss Jiang, did you really have to go this far?" The driver was a fresh college graduate named Justin Liu. He was so young, but instead of the naive look you'd expect, he had this unervingly mature aura. It felt like nothing I did could escape his eyes. "Justin Liu, why are you idling the car here?" I asked, staring back at his dark eyes. He looked right through my soul. For some reason, I couldn't look him in the eye. The trap for the second young mistress and the timing of the paparazzi. "That was all you, right?" Justin's voice was too calm. It was terrifying. I gasped, "You." I stared at him, my mouth open but no words coming out. Who the hell was he? How did he know my secrets? Why do you have to do this? Justin's emotionless face actually showed a hint of pain. He looked at me with genuine pity. "This is illegal. You're turning into the very monsters you hate. Is it really worth it?" Seeing him preaching to me almost made me laugh. Did he have any idea what kind of hell I had been through? Of course he didn't. My throat tightened, making it hard to breathe. "Justin Liu, don't stand on your moral high ground and judge me. You have no right." Justin froze for a second, his eyes turning red. "Miss Jiang." I gave him a cold look and scoffed. I didn't want to waste words on him or guess his identity. I just wanted to leave. Drive me home. With that, I leaned back. Justin didn't push further. He started the car, and we drove back in absolute silence. I wasn't too worried about him exposing me. After all, he had zero evidence. At least, that's what I thought at the time. Chapter 7. When I got back to my room, my phone rang. It was a call from the thug. It was weird. I had already bought plane tickets for the three of them to flee the country and lay low. Did something go wrong? I hurried out to the balcony to answer it. Before I could speak, the man let out a sinister laugh. Well, boss. I never expected you to be the eldest daughter of the Jiang family. The girl we had tonight was your sister, wasn't she?" The words hit me like a thunderbolt. How did they find out who I was? I had used a proxy and masked my identity the entire time. Even if they figured out Cynthia's identity, they shouldn't have been able to trace it back to me. My hand holding the phone started shaking. I pressed my other hand against my chest, too terrified to speak. Are you wondering how I know? You're really careless, boss. When you mailed us the plane tickets, you accidentally dropped your custom bracelet into the package. The courier delivered it right to us. What? I screamed in terror, quickly pulling back my sleeve to check my wrist. Damn it. The bracelet was gone. It must have slipped off without me noticing. And worse, my name was engraved on it. It was a birthday gift from my late parents, so I always wore it. I was completely exposed. But I forced myself to calm down. I still held leverage over them. If you dare open your mouth, all three of you will rot in prison. They ran illegal casinos inland and owed millions in Macau gambling debts. They were desperate criminals, which was why they took my money in the first place. I thought the threat would work, but it only triggered a chorus of laughter from the phone. If Chairman Jiang finds out about this, your ending will be 10 times worse than ours, right, boss? You're a priceless porcelain vase, boss, and we're just broken pieces of clay. If you want to drag us down with you, you're the one losing big time. They took turns mocking me. I bit my lips so hard it almost bled, wanting nothing more than to smash the phone. But my rebirth experience kept my head clear enough to suppress the rage. I forced out, "What do you want?" $10 million. Cash. And we disappear forever. You bastards. I nearly cursed out loud. The company was still in my uncle's hands. Where the hell was I supposed to get $10 million right now? The money I used to pay off their initial debts came from selling my mother's jewelry. But these thugs were determined to blackmail me. I couldn't refuse them outright, so I had to play along to buy some time. Give me a few days to get the cash. I hung up. Before I could even think of a plan, the sound of multiple cars roaring into the driveway echoed from downstairs. I looked down from the balcony. It was my uncle and aunt's car, followed closely by Ethan's parents' car. After such a massive scandal, the Sue family was definitely here to break off the engagement. I quickly patted some pale powder onto my face to make myself look exhausted, squeezed out some tears, and headed downstairs. This engagement is officially canceled. Mister. Sue's roar echoed through the hall the moment I stepped onto the stairs. Following that were the pathetic excuses and begging from my uncle and aunt. This isn't our Cynthia's fault. Who knew those monsters would break in? Cynthia was done crying. The maid had already helped her upstairs to take a shower. I walked into the living room, standing quietly in a corner to watch the drama unfold. That's a Jiang family problem. Go call the cops if you want, but we are canceling the contract right now. The Sue family will not be dragged into the mud with you. Mrs. Sue's attitude was just as fierce. Just when I thought the cancellation was a done deal, a clear, confident voice cut through the room from the entrance. I'm not canceling the engagement. It was Ethan. I looked up. He walked in wearing a perfectly tailored black suit that emphasized his tall, athletic frame. He radiated a cold, dominant pressure. His sharp eyes swept across the room like a hawk in the night, intimidating and absolute. I didn't care about the others, but my heart hammered against my ribs as I stared at Ethan. My fists clenched tightly inside my sleeves. Ethan, don't you dare ruin my plan. Ethan, have you lost your mind? You still want a woman like that? Mister. Sue slammed his cane down, almost lunging forward to slap his son. Ethan stood his ground without flinching. Luckily, Mrs. Sue held her husband back. My uncle let out a sigh of relief, while my aunt actually smiled, stepping forward to thank Ethan for being so reasonable. Only I stared at him with eyes that felt like they were bleeding. My nails dug into my palms so hard it brought tears to my eyes. Suddenly, Ethan's gaze locked onto me. The icy look in his eyes instantly melted into pure softness. When he spoke, his voice was unbelievably gentle. I said I'm not canceling the engagement. But I never said I was marrying Cynthia. The bride can just be replaced by her older sister. The room fell into dead silence. Everyone's eyes snapped directly to me, shocked, suspicious, and intense. Even I froze. "You absolute bitch." Before I could react, Cynthia's voice shrieked from behind me. A hand violently grabbed my shoulder, spinning me around.